Stress. It is everywhere and can be so overwhelming at times, and especially if you have Crohn's or colitis, can possibly trigger your symptoms. So if you want to know my top tips on managing stress with Crohn's disease, then keep watching. Hello, welcome to my channel, the only place that is dedicated to providing you with the best tips, tricks and information relating to Crohn's and colitis. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified every time I post a video every Sunday. Also, if you want to join an exclusive community of people who receive my personal tips and tricks on living with Crohn's and colitis, make sure you sign up to my newsletter, of which the link is in the description box below. So let's get started, shall we? Tip number 1. Exercise. This is my personal favorite because exercise is free and can take all shapes and forms. It can work wonders for your physical health as it causes your body to release something called an endorphin, which is feel-good hormones. And exercise doesn't have to involve paying a fortune at the gym. It can include going for a walk or a run or even playing sports. As long as you're moving enough to work up a sweat, you'll start feeling the benefits. Number 2, don't become hangry. If you're like me and get a little bit moody when you don't eat, make sure you avoid this by quite simply making sure you eat right and don't skip meals. Number 3, get enough sleep. It sounds so simple, but it's so important to get enough sleep, as sleep deprivation can cause you to feel on edge and it won't help your stress levels, and you'll eventually run yourself into the ground, which will more likely cause a flare and make you even more ill than you would originally be. Also, sleep deprivation and being hangry at the same time isn't a good combination, trust me, so make sure you sleep and eat. Number 4, learn what your stress triggers are. What can be really helpful is knowing what may trigger your stress. If it's work related, there may not be much you can do depending on the type of job you have, but never underestimate the power of small changes. What you could do is change working hours, maybe start work a little earlier and finishing earlier so you can avoid rush hour traffic. Or if you don't know what causes you to become stressed, then keeping a diary and noting down when you feel stressed and what you're doing at the time can help identify your triggers. Number 5, take time for yourself. This does link to the very first point of exercising, but some people have found that taking time for yourself, whether it's 5-10 minutes in the morning, afternoon or evening, to just allow yourself to reflect, listen to music and relax, maybe practice even breathing techniques or meditating, just to help clear your mind and bring you back to a state where you are not so overwhelmed. Number 6, cut back on the caffeine. Try limiting the amount of caffeine you have, whether it's from tea, coffee or energy drinks. And I totally understand how if you're working to a deadline that you can overload on caffeine to stay awake to fit in as much work as possible. But caffeine does raise your heart rate and blood pressure, which can in fact make you stressed and even anxious. Number 7, speak up. Depending on what is causing you stress will determine if talking about it helps or not. But usually whatever is causing you stress, opening up about it will help. Just don't bottle things up to the point where you feel so emotionally overwhelmed that you implode from the stress. Remember, it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to ask for help, whether from a friend or a family member. Even just by talking about how you feel, what's going on in your life can really be helpful. If you're not comfortable about talking to people about what's stressing you out, then keeping a journal where you can write down your thoughts can be a way of unloading your stress. Now you know my top tips on managing stress with Crohn's disease, but what about managing anxiety with Crohn's disease? Don't worry, I've got you covered, as I've done a video on exactly that, and the link to that is in the description box below. Now make sure you check out these videos on more useful tips, tricks and information relating to Crohn's and colitis. Hit that subscribe button and bell to be notified every time I post a video, as well as leaving a like and a comment if you enjoyed this video and found it useful. And I can't wait to see you all in the next episode.